जब बेबी होता है तो बहुत खुशी होती है, लेकिन जब बेबी प्रीमेच्योर हो जाए तो समझ नहीं आता कि क्या फील करना चाहिए।
और ऊपर से कमेंट शुरू हो जाते हैं लाइक ओ माय गॉड शी इज सो टाइनी, इज शी रियल?
फोटो तो दिखाओ, हमने भी देखना है बेबी कितनी छोटी है।
तुमने किया क्या था जिसकी वजह से ये इतनी जल्दी हो गई?
This is the Gupshup Show. Hi, my name is Khawla.
Assalamu alaikum and my name is Arooj.
Welcome back to another episode of the Gupshup Show.
It's officially November. For a lot of men, it's Movember and they will be growing out their beards. But it's also a Prematurity Awareness Month. And I know, Khawla, that this month is really important to you and you wanted to raise awareness for this month. So can you please tell us why it's so important for you and what would you like to share about it?
So, Prematurity Awareness Month is basically a month dedicated to raising awareness for premature kids. And it's really important to me because my daughter was born premature at 23 weeks, so just about in the middle of my 5th month of pregnancy. So it was almost like only halfway through my pregnancy. And any child that's born before 37 weeks is considered premature. But obviously there's some kids that are born more premature than others. So any child that's born before 26 weeks is considered a micro-preemie. So my daughter is considered a micro-preemie because she's born before that, and also she had really low birth weight. So yeah, like it was really hard having a child that was born really, really early. But yeah, that's basically what prematurity is when a child is born before their gestation is complete.
And because when they're born premature, so sorry if I'm like, I don't know a lot about it. Obviously, I know you're the first person that I know of, that I'm aware of, that had a premature baby, and it's like up close.
Yeah.
What would differentiate them from babies that are born after a certain amount of time?
So basically, like any baby that's term, they don't have the same level of difficulty of life that a premature child has, because a premature child comes out fighting for their life, basically. So when for me, when Amal was born, they had to resuscitate her, and she was in very, very, very intensive care, and every day, like, I would ask the doctor, is she okay? How's she doing? She's like, she's okay today, but we don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. That was like the answer I would always get. Like, you can always expect anything with a premature child because their bodies are not fully developed yet. Their organs are not fully developed yet. Their skin isn't fully developed yet. So when you take, a child out that early, their body is constantly like fighting to get the same level of nutrients that they would get in the womb. So it is really difficult for the child, obviously, and also for the parents.
And did you know beforehand that you were gonna have a premature baby?
I had so basically I had low amniotic fluid, which I found out at a random scan because my husband came to Dubai to see me, because Amal was born in Dubai when I was seeing my parents, and he came to Dubai, so I just wanted to get a scan done so he could see the baby as well. So we just went randomly just to see the baby with him. Mm-hmm. And when we went for the scan, then the doctors were like, the baby isn't happy, and there's very low amniotic fluid around the baby. And basically with amniotic fluid is that the baby drinks the amniotic fluid and it urinates, and that's the fluid that's around the baby. So it's basically the baby's food.
Okay.
So if there's no fluid, then the baby's not eating. That means the baby's not growing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's the first time that I found out that there were some complications. So we went and saw a neonatal specialist, mm-hmm. and he kept me under very, very strict monitoring. So I was seeing him every week. And he told me to basically hydrate myself. So the more water I drink, the more water is going to go to the baby. Mm-hmm. So I would drink loads and loads of water, and coconut water and watermelon juice and everything. I was just constantly drinking. And then the following appointments I would go, And he was just like, oh, the baby's very happy, you know, there's a lot of amniotic fluid. And at that time in the beginning, he said that it's very likely you're going to have a premature baby. But by premature, he meant 32 to 33 weeks, not, you know, that early. After I started drinking loads, the baby was happy. But then I went for the next scan after that scan, which was only a week apart. And, you know, I got dressed up in the morning, did my makeup, did my hair, thought it's like a regular, normal day. And we went to the appointment, and the whole time the doctor was doing the ultrasound, he was really, really quiet, and he wouldn't say anything. And then when he was done, he was just like, the baby is not happy, and we have to deliver the baby now.
Oh.
Yeah. And yeah, I was just panicking the whole time. I was praying, and like when I went into surgery, because I had a C-section, and when I went, I was just like praying कि अल्लाह अगर मुझे बेबी को ज़िंदगी देनी है तो सेहत के साथ देना, कि उसके अंदर कोई abnormality या कोई problem वो चीज़ ना हो, क्योंकि वो फिर बेबी के लिए भी like it's a difficult life to live, and also for the parents to have a child with, you know, difficulty as well. So I was just like अल्लाह अगर ज़िंदगी देनी तो सेहत के साथ देना वरना मत देना the entire time. And then when I woke up from the surgery, I was just like touching my stomach, and I was just checking like, is she still there? And it was like, I didn't have a bump anyway, so I was like, okay, yeah, there's less of a bump. And I just started asking the doctor like, where's my baby? And they were like, your baby's fine. I was just like crying. I'm like, is she alive? And they're like, yeah, she's alive. And my mom told me, you know, after we went home, because obviously she was the one waiting on the outside after my delivery. So after she was born, they basically wrapped her in a white towel and they ran. And when they ran, my mom thought, "Acha, nahi bachi."
Yeah.
Because if the baby's like alive, then you're gonna, you know, take the baby out. You're not gonna wrap it in a white towel completely. You'll leave some room in it. But they were literally like wrapped her and they ran. So she was just panicking, and she was just asking her, is she alive? And they're like, we don't know yet. Uske baad, like, they told her, yeah, she's alive. They had to resuscitate her, but she's alive. And when I saw her, because I couldn't see her the same night, because I was, you know, I was unconscious as well. But when I saw her the next morning, she was that big. She was literally, her whole body would fit in my hand like this.
Oh wow.
And she was completely pink because her body wasn't developed yet, so her skin was like raw. Her eyes were completely shut, like you couldn't see her eyes. There was a cloth over her eyes, and she just looked like a baby bird. You know when a baby bird is born and like their skin is raw, their eyes are completely shut, they're just moving their body, but like it's not like you know, normal movement, just like static movement. So it was exactly like that. And I was just like, oh my god, like how is she gonna be, you know, normal or have like a healthy life, because she's that tiny. And yeah, so it was really, really hard for me, but alhamdulillah, like she's okay now, so that's like,
you can't even
you can't, yeah, she's wild. Yeah,
because so when you delivered the baby in Dubai, because you were there just with your mom and your husband wasn't there, right?
No, that was really hard as well, because, you know, I'm the one that hears all the bad news first. Because every day when I would go see the doctor, like one day she'd be like, okay, yeah, she's doing well, everything's fine. The next day I would go. Like there was a time when I went to see the doctor, and she was like, half her brain is bigger than the other half. And in my head, I'm just like, what does that mean? Yeah. What does that mean for her? What does that mean for me? You know, and she was just like, we don't know yet, but she showed me like the scan. She's like, look, this half of the brain is smaller and this half the brain is bigger. And then like I just went home, and she told me like she's gonna do more tests, and they're gonna take like fluid from her spine and do tests on that to see if that means like there's an abnormality. Yeah. And I just went home and started googling like, what does that mean? Does that mean there's a problem? And you know, like, you know, you just go crazy over there. And then it came back the next day and she's like, no, all the test results came fine. She's completely fine.
And how long did she stay in the hospital?
About 5 months.
5 months. And in that time you were in Dubai?
Alone.
Yeah.
So,
you know, when somebody is in the hospital of a family member, it's like it's not only that family member, वो तो है hospital में, लेकिन जो पूरी family का जो shifts चलती है ना सुबह से जाओ, because you feel so guilty if one of your family members is in the घर का एक बंदा अगर हॉस्पिटल में हो तो पूरा घर डिस्टर्ब हो जाता है. यू हैव टू बी देयर. ना भी अगर बंदा जाए लेकिन कहीं और भी दिल नहीं लगता. इवन दो you can't do anything else.
Yeah, of course, because like मैं तो हर दिन जा रही थी. I literally went from morning till night every day. और मेरे अंदर वो भी था कि मैं जा रही हूँ लेकिन मेरी बच्ची है, मैं उसको हाथ नहीं लगा सकती, मैं उसको दूध नहीं पिला सकती, मैं उसको पकड़ नहीं सकती, मैं उसके लिए कुछ भी नहीं कर सकती, मैं बस उसकी खड़े होकर दुआ कर सकती हूँ. उसके अलावा like I'm just there to like just watch her. And I used to ask the doctor कि you know what can I do for her? I'm her mother, what can I do? And she's like you can talk to her because she can hear you. And she recognizes her mother's voice. You can talk to her and you can pray for her. There's nothing else that you can do. और फिर उसको like even then because हाँ वो premature हो गई लेकिन वो भी चीज़ थी हमारे अंदर कि as a family कि okay बच्ची हुई है, बेटी हुई है, औलाद हुई है तो मुबारकबादी होती है. लोगों के मैसेजेस आते हैं मुबारक को बेटी हुई है, बहुत मुबारक हो, एंड ऑल होता अकीका होता है 7वें दिन. तो एंड वी वर जस्ट इन शॉक कि अगर कोई हमें मुबारकबादी देता भी है हाउ आर वी गोना फील, क्योंकि हमें नहीं दी मुबारकबादी किसी ने. एंड आई डोंट नो कि अगर मुझे मिलती would I be happy about it? Would it be like, oh khair mubarak? Like I don't know what I would say.
Yeah.
You know? And even with the akika, like my mom was saying to me, अच्छा अब समझ नहीं आ रहा क्या करे, अकीका होता है तो अब इसका किस तरह से अकीका करे, क्या अकीका करे, you know. तो हमने बस बकरा कटवा लिया था and like गरीबों में बांट दिया था. But it was just like the whole situation, I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't understand my own feelings कि मैं क्या expect कर रही हूँ.
Yeah, because obviously you have your baby, but she was born too early. You can't touch her. She's still in the hospital for so long. Yeah. So you're happy, but at the same time.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know like if I was happy, if I was sad. Like I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
So it was just a confusing situation for everyone.
And but because you didn't know how to feel, but when in that situation, what were you expecting? Something from your surroundings, or
I don't know, because in that moment, all like the thing I really wanted was that people understand me and people understand my situation, but a lot of people didn't understand the situation I was in, because I had a few months after she was born, then I had some of my family come over, and they came with like gifts, and they came with like baby clothes, and it wasn't premature baby clothes, it was like term baby clothes and stuff like that. And I was confused, and like the fact that I saw that they're full term baby clothes, even though that they know I have a premature child and she's not going to be able to wear them. I felt like, why? Even though I don't know if it was intentional, it would just not be, might be unintentional. Like you just get term baby clothes.
But it did hurt your feelings.
But it hurt me because I was just like, is she even going to be able to wear them? You know? And even like, because they came and they're like, अच्छा picture तो दिखाना, हमने baby देखनी, picture तो दिखाना. And I'm just like, why are you asking me to show you a picture? She's a premature child. She's got tubes in her mouth. She's on ventilators. She's got oxygen. She's got needles all over her body. And you're asking me to show you a picture.
Yeah.
And I just said कि मेरे पास नहीं है. I said मेरे पास नहीं है picture. And then they started asking questions about, अच्छा तुम feed कराती हो, तुम उसको कैसे feed कराती हो, तुम breast feed कराती हो, तुम bottle feed कराती हो. I'm like, I haven't even touched her yet. मैंने उंगली भी नहीं लगाई उसको अब तक.
हाँ तो ब्रेस्ट फीड तो दूर की बात है.
हाँ एग्जैक्टली, फीड कराना ही दूर की बात है, वो अब तक दूध ही नहीं पी रही. So like, you know, just that I felt like maybe because they didn't know कि इस सिचुएशन में क्या सवाल करना चाहिए या किस तरह से सपोर्ट करना चाहिए, but me being in the situation and already, you know,
So
grieving,
vulnerable, yeah.
and vulnerable in that situation, and then hearing those questions, I was just like, what the hell? And फिर उसके बाद वो लोग जाने लगे ना, तो एक फैमिली मेम्बर ने आकर मुझे फ़ोन में उसकी पिक्चर दिखाई अमल की, and they're like, ये है ना अमल? And I'm just like, मैंने कहा कि मेरे पास पिक्चर नहीं है, तो उससे आपको मैसेज मिल जाना चाहिए था कि मुझे उसकी पिक्चर शेयर नहीं करनी. मैं उसकी माँ हूँ, ऑफ कोर्स मेरे पास पिक्चर है, लेकिन उससे आपको मैसेज मिल जाना चाहिए था कि मुझे उसकी पिक्चर आपसे शेयर नहीं करनी. अगर आपको कहीं से पिक्चर मिल गई है तो आपको मेरे मुंह पे लाकर दिखाना जरूरी है.
Such a hurtful thing to do.
And they left and I just broke down. I just started crying like crazy. Cause I'm just like, उनको पता होना चाहिए था. मैंने उनको बोला कि मेरे पास नहीं है पिक्चर, उसका क्या मतलब है? मुझे नहीं दिखाना उन्हें. और फिर मैंने मुंह पे लाकर दिखाना कि तुम्हें तो दिखाना है, नहीं दिखाना, हम तो देखेंगे, ये देखो, और देखेंगे और तुम्हें भी दिखाएंगे कि हमने देख ली. तो अगर बंदा सपोर्ट नहीं कर सकता, if you can't do anything good, why do you need to purpose? That's वो जान के करने वाली बात हुई ना, कि जान के उन्होंने करना है. So I had like a lot of situations like that, and even after she got discharged, I had situations where people would be like, oh my god, she's so tiny, she's so tiny, she's so small. And there was a time where, you know, I took a picture with her, just holding her, and I put it on Instagram, and I covered her face and everything. And I got a lot of comments saying like, oh my god, is she real? Is she real? She's so tiny, is she real? And to me, I'm just like, of course she's real. And the fact that I keep hearing she's so tiny, she's so tiny, she's so tiny. I'm like, मैंने उसको देखा है tiny, मैंने उसको इतना देखा, अब तो वो इतनी हो गई है. तो अभी भी लोग बाबा, मैंने मतलब वो है ना कि जबरदस्ती tiny बंदा तंग हो जाता है सुन के कि मेरे लिए तो इतनी बड़ी अचीवमेंट है कि वो कपड़े पहन रही है. मेरे लिए इतनी बड़ी अचीवमेंट है वो डायपर पहन रही. पहले तो वो डायपर में सोती थी. The diaper, they used to, in the incubator, they used to put the diaper down because it's soft. So they used to lay the diaper down and they used to put her inside because there was a soft, you know, surrounding. And her diaper was her bed. Or वो diaper पहन रही है. For me, that's an achievement.
Yeah, it is, for sure.
And, you know, just stuff like that. And it was really hard, like, the comments that I would get as well. और फिर उसके बाद I would get stuff like, तुमने ज़रूर कुछ किया होगा जिसकी वजह से वो प्रीमेच्योर हो गई. तुमने ऐसा क्या किया था? तुमने ज़रूर कुछ किया होगा. And then, because you know, when I got pregnant, because I'm like, I really enjoy working out, and I've always worked out since I was in school and in uni. And while I was pregnant, I went to the gym twice. In the first month, I went literally just 2 times. And मैं जब गई तो फिर ना हमने ultrasound कराया just to like see the baby. And I asked the doctor, is it okay for me to go to the gym? She's like, have you been gymming this whole time? I'm like, yeah. She's like, then it's okay. Because you shouldn't do anything that's new. If your body's already used to working out, then it's fine. But you shouldn't be working out if it's not, you know, common for you or usual for you to do. So I was like, fine. And I just went twice. उसके बाद जब वो पैदा हुई ना, देखा तुम जिम गई थी ना इसलिए हुआ. देखा मैंने मना किया था जिम नहीं जाना इसलिए हुआ. And I asked the doctor, I'm like, you know, when she was born, I said, is it because of something I did? Did I do something? Did I not take care of myself? And he's like, no. It's literally my body failed. And I have nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it was just out of your control.
Yeah, it's something that I can't control. मुझे तो नहीं पता ना मेरे पेट में कितना पानी बन रहा है. So like, what does it have to do with me going to the gym? So like, it's just you know, those typical comments that you expect from desi people.
Yeah, so when a premature baby gets discharged and they go home, is there like some special diet, or how do you take care of a baby like that?
So before she got discharged, like I had to have like a private session with the doctor, and I had like a pencil and a notepad and everything, and she basically told me like everything that I had to do. So like the environment had to be very, very clean. So before she came, we had to like change the bed sheets, dust all the curtains. There has to be like no dust or anything in the house, because obviously her immune system is very weak. She didn't get the same nutrients that a term baby would. So for a child that's born term, and if they get a flu, it's okay because their body can fight it. But if she gets a flu, it can be life-threatening. So, you know, that's why we had to take extra precaution. So even when she was in hospital, and when I was allowed to touch her, I had to like sanitize my hands, wash my hands, put gloves on, put like a whole suit on, tie up my hair in a hairnet, everything.
Oh wow.
And then I would touch her.
And how long was that? Was that only in the hospital that you touched her like that?
It wasn't the whole time in the hospital. And then at home, the doctor said you have to sanitize your hands when you touch her. And preferably, if someone, you know, that's not you that's touching her, then they should wear gloves. Just because you don't know, even sanitizing, it doesn't kill all the germs. It kills most of them, but it doesn't kill all of them. Mm-hmm. So she's like, it would be better if they wore gloves. And, you know, at home, my sisters or my family, they would sanitize their hands and they would touch her. But I told my mom, you know, agar koi aur aa raha hai and anybody else wants to touch her, first of all, I don't want anyone else to touch her. Or agar koi kar raha hai, then they have to wear gloves. So my mom was just like, you know, bura lagta hai कि अगर कोई आ रहा है and you say, oh, एक second, आप please ये gloves पहन ले. So like it looks like it's something, you know,
negative.
Yeah.
अच्छा आपके हाथ गंदे हैं तो आप gloves पहन के हमारे बच्ची को हाथ लगाएं.
Yeah. So I was just like, you know, it's for my child's health and it's for my child's safety, and like I've suffered through so much in hospital that I don't want to risk anything.
Yeah, because what would you rather have? Like, किसी को कहने कि you know what her condition has been like, you know how long she's been in the hospital. अब वो आई है डॉक्टर की recommendation है कि आप gloves पहन के उसको touch करें, तो ये लें आपके gloves if you want to touch her.
Yeah.
If you don't want to wear the gloves, so then just don't touch her.
Yeah.
लेकिन that's the doctor's recommendation.
Yeah, exactly.
तो उसमें I think जो बंदा बुरा मनाए
मना ले.
Yeah. I rather have कि तुम बुरा बनाओ या मेरी बच्ची बीमार हो.
Yeah,
so it doesn't
exactly.
weigh the same.
Yeah.
तो आपने अगर बुरा मनाना है आप मनाते हैं लेकिन
exactly.
sorry. Yeah.
Exactly. And even, you know, when we came back to the UK, so I was wearing her in like a body wrap. So she was inside over here. And, you know, like when we gave the flight attendant like 3 passports, and they're like, where's the third person? And she's like proper like looking like, where's the third person? I'm like, she's right here. Because I was wearing her and she's like, oh my god, she's so small. And like even, you know, when you went onto the plane, like all the air hostesses, they all like gathered up and they're like, oh my god, look at this baby, she's so tiny. And like the air hostess said, like, you're so brave for traveling with her because, you know, of how sensitive she is. And even when we got on the plane, my husband, like, we got Dettol wipes and sanitizer and everything, and we sanitized the whole seats and everything before we actually sat down. So when COVID happened, it was normal for us. क्योंकि हम वैसे भी gloves पहन रहे थे, हम वैसे भी sanitize कर रहे थे, हम वैसे भी mask पहन रहे थे. Before we landed in the UK, my in-laws went and they bought like lots of sanitizer and masks and gloves and everything. So even like if one person in the house got sick with a normal flu, a normal cough, they would wear a mask around her and they would wear gloves around her. And that's just something that we were doing
already.
You know, already. So when COVID happened, we were already used to it. Yeah.
You know, I think पाकिस्तान में भी काफ़ी जगह चीज़ों को ना वो इतना वो नहीं मानते कि नहीं ये कोई बात नहीं, खैर है. तो पता है पाकिस्तान में पहले कितने बेबीज एकदम फोत हो जाते थे. They didn't even know what happened that the baby passed away. तो क्या पता कि उन चीज़ों की वजह से गंदे हाथों से बेबी को हाथ लगाया, हाथ साफ करके नहीं लगाया, वो जर्म से वो बेबी फोत हो गया हो या कुछ हो गया. ये तो पाकिस्तान में एक वो भी तो है ना, वो जो फुप्पो जो शहद चटाती है उंगली से. लेकिन क्या पता उस फुप्पो ने अपने हाथ ना धोए हो, गंदी उंगली से शहद चटा दिया हो, एंड वो बेबी इस तरह फोत हो गए. So you don't even know what the cause is, even with like a sore lip.
Yeah.
अगर बच्चे को किस कर दो, babies die from that. Because they don't have the immune system yet to fight certain things yet. वो भी इतने छोटे होते हैं. तो इसमें मैं कहती हूँ बुरा मनाने की कोई चीज़ नहीं है, especially when it's like with babies.
Yeah.
कि अगर कोई आपको कह रहा है कि oh yeah, please wash your hands, or here ये जेल है. अब तो इतनी दफा मैं हॉलैंड में भी गई थी तो उन्होंने जेल रखा हुआ था साथ.
हाँ.
When you go for a baby visit,
Yeah.
the first hand sanitize करके बच्चे को हाथ लगा लो. I don't think there's any harm in that, or to get offended, because when it's your own child, you would want the same. You want the baby's safety first.
Of course.
So I wanted to know if, I hope, inshallah, nobody goes through what you...
Because 1 in 10 babies are born premature.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
1 in 10 babies.
1 in 10 babies are born premature. I have only a handful of friends in the UK, and majority of them have premature babies.
And so what I wanted to know is, how can we, from the outside, if your friends are going through that or have a premature baby, how can we support?
I think just being there and just, with words, because you can't do anything physically, because sometimes the mother can't even do anything physically, but just being there and supporting them and listening to them and understanding their feelings, because sometimes a friend just needs to vent, just talk about things. Sometimes, because with me, with my friends, even though my friends were amazing, but sometimes because they're not going through those situations and they're not going through that struggle, so when they would invite me to let's go out, let's go have a coffee, sometimes I would go, but I would feel so guilty कि फिर मैं उधर से कॉफी छोड़कर मैं हॉस्पिटल चली जाती थी.
हाँ कि बेबी उधर है, and then
yeah. I would just go. Or sometimes even when I would see them and I wouldn't go to the hospital, मेरी बस उसी की बात हुई थी. अच्छा डॉक्टर ने आज ये कहा, उसने आज इतना दूध पिया, आज डॉक्टर ने ये कहा, आज उसका ये टेस्ट किया, उसका ये रिजल्ट आया, अब वो बोल रहे हैं अब उसको इस रूम में शिफ्ट करेंगे, अब उसका ये टेस्ट करेंगे, अब उसका ये ब्लड टेस्ट होगा. मेरे मुंह से सिर्फ उसी की बात निकल रही है. And obviously to someone who some girls who just want to have a good time, you don't want to hear difficult news like that when you're just trying to enjoy yourself.
Yeah, but at the same time, that's what was on your mind, and that's what was going on, so you want to talk about it. And even though I wouldn't have any knowledge about it or whatever, but I think you should just listen. Just be there.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think this goes out to हमारी जो community है, regardless of premature है या अगर कोई they have they're mentally challenged or physically challenged. I feel like कि हमारी community में they can be so harsh with the questions. Don't do that. अगर आप कुछ अच्छा नहीं कह सकते या अच्छा नहीं कुछ कर सकते तो प्लीज आप इस तरह के सवाल ना किया करें दूसरों को, because they're hurtful. So leave it as is. ये किस तरह करता है और ये यूं किस तरह होता है, ये तो कितना मुश्किल होता होगा, or something like that. Just don't. Yeah,
I even got comments from a family member when they came to see us on the same day. Yeah, so they would be like, वो देखती है, वो smile करती है, वो क्या करती है? And I'm just like, इतना सा baby जो अभी incubator में, even a newborn baby doesn't do anything the first few months of life. तो आप expect करें जो premature baby वो कुछ करेगा?
Yeah.
So, and they're like, अच्छा उसकी वो आके आपने यूं करके देखती है. And I'm just like, what kind of questions are these?
Yeah, so I think अगर आप support नहीं कर सकते, कुछ अच्छा नहीं कह सकते, please ऐसे सवाल आप ना करें. Just listen and just say कि अगर if you need anything,
I'm there.
If you want to talk about it, I'm there. Yeah, or bring food. Yeah,
exactly. Like if you have a family at home and the mother is at hospital the whole time, to help out at home and just be there. That's it. There's also an amazing, I found an amazing community on Instagram, because when Amma was born, I just went on Instagram and I started looking for premature children that were in the same, stage as her or were born at the same time as her. So because they would post their pictures, now she's 26 weeks, now this is the process, this is what the doctor's saying, this is how she's feeding, now she's 28. So they would update everything in hospital.
Yeah.
So I would compare. I shouldn't compare, but I would compare.
You're like, okay, it's the condition is strange.
Yeah, because they were in the same situation. So मुझे Instagram पे I found an amazing community, And that's where I friend like one of my best friends now, Mariam, and her son was also born premature. So when I was in hospital and her son was in hospital at the same time, so we would basically like talk to each other, oh, I'm also doing this, and she'd be like, oh, her son's like that, and just, you know, we had like that person to relate with. So I would say like even if you find one person that's going through the same situation, and you will, because 1 in 10 babies are born premature, you know, that would be really helpful, because then you know that that person's gonna understand you.
Yeah. So I'm really happy that you know, chose to talk about it and raise awareness about this. And yeah, I'm more educated about the topic now.
Yeah.
I hope you guys are too.
So thank you so much everyone for tuning in. I hope you could relate with my story, or if not, you got educated about prematurity. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and we can't wait to see you in the next episode. Bye.
Allah Hafiz.